On this week's episode, we have a Strongwoman competitor on with us, Melissa Schmit. Melissa shares her journey of college athlete to Strongwoman competitor and all the ups and downs in between, along with her various travel experiences. And finally, this episode of the Iron Huddle podcast is sponsored by Torque Strength and Conditioning. Torque Strength and Conditioning is a great place to work out and offers a variety of programs such as Torque CrossFit, Torque Barbell, Torque Fit, personal coaching, and youth and teen development. And we hope you enjoy the podcast.
So today we are grateful enough to have sometimes a strongman, sometimes a powerlifter, sometimes everything.
I've never powerlifted, but
all right.
I've only done strongman.
But you have the shoulders of it.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, I got it all.
Melissa Schmit, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That is it.
Awesome. And we first met you at the Strongman and Strongwoman Winter Assault at the Minneapolis Convention Center back in February.
February 9th, yes.
Yes, and you and the other woman were fun to watch. It was impressive. From our experience, we've only kind of seen a lot on Instagram and ESPN what the men have done and competed. And so for us to be firsthand and watch the women compete as well was eye-opening and impressive, and that's why we wanted to have you on. So it was fun to see what you're doing. What was your experience like at that event?
I had a lot of fun. The last two strongman competitions I've done there hasn't been a lot of competition in my weight class, so it was nice to have this one. There was 3 other girls in my weight class, and so it was nice to have that competitive edge. But
so you've competed in how many strongman competitions have you been in?
I've done 5.
Really? Over how many years?
A year and a half. I just started strength training. It'll be 2 years in July.
So you've only been strength training for 2 years?
Yeah.
Did you grow up playing athletics or anything like that?
So I did volleyball all through high school, and then actually I do bodybuilding too.
Wow. So is bodybuilding what got you into strongman?
Yes.
And how did you get into bodybuilding?
So after I graduated college, I got a big girl job, and I was traveling a lot, and I was like, oh, I have a big girl job. I should probably get my health and wellness in check. And I started working out, and I started at LA Fitness. And
a lot of people did.
Yeah, a lot of people did. Mm-hmm. And I had never seriously lifted weights ever. I was like the girl that's like, I'm going to go run on the treadmill, woohoo,
Yeah.
And they pressured me into getting a personal trainer, like they do. That's their job.
Yep.
And I got one, and I stuck with it, and I started getting comfortable in the gym. I started working out on my own, and I started seeing that first taste of results. When you finally see that shoulder coming through, or that whatever, your bicep getting bigger, and you're like, whoa, this is working.
Time for a selfie. Time for the Instagram.
Right?
Yep.
Like, oh, this is working. This is awesome.
So let's go back a second.
Yeah.
So before you began that, and you were in high school,
mm-hmm.
was volleyball your first passion? Was that the first thing that kind of drew you into athletics at all? Or?
Yeah, volleyball definitely kind of lit the fire of staying active and whatnot. I played it all year round. I never wanted to play in college, just because I was like, well, I'm going to college to go to school, aren't I?
And you were focused on all that, yeah.
Yeah.
Besides Saturday nights.
Yeah, and Wednesdays and Fridays.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to University of Minnesota Duluth.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
Yeah, I loved it up there.
Yeah. And then you said you got a big boy job after that.
Yes.
And then how long were you, it takes a while to get adapted to a new job and get your lifestyle kind of figured out. So how long was the lag between getting that job and then until you found that new membership at LA Fitness?
So my very first big kid job, I moved to South Dakota.
Woo.
And
Well, fuck you.
No.
Earmuffs, Nick. That's where he's from.
We're at in South Dakota.
Sorry.
We're at in South Dakota.
Sioux Falls.
Oh, jeez.
So it was
about as good as it gets over there.
It is. But I traveled a lot. So I was back all between North and South Dakota. So all the way out to Rapid City, all the way up to Bismarck, like all over. And so traveling, I ate out all the time. I just started feeling really shitty about myself. And when you eat out, I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna go eat a salad. No, I'm like, yeah, I want to get that burger. That sounds good,
Absolutely.
So I just kind of lost my athleticism and got in a really low slump, and I didn't have any friends. I moved to a new city, and I was at a really low time. It was my first big kid job. I was like, yes.
And how long were you in South Dakota?
So my mom was like, I had called my mom crying all the time, I hate this. And she's like, well, what are you gonna do? Move home and work at a restaurant again? And I'm like, no. So she's like, well, find a job, we'll figure out your housing, and then move after you get a job.
Yeah.
So I got a new job in Minneapolis in June. So I started my big kid job in October, and then I was back in Minneapolis by June.
So almost a full year, but not.
Yeah, just about.
So when you were traveling for that job, again, you weren't working out this time, so.
I was doing the running thing in the apartment or in the gyms at the hotels.
So like skinny fat type of.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where did you travel to when you were for work though? Did you go to any cool places at all, or?
No, so just with North and South Dakota. So literally in a car for 8 hours by myself with all my thoughts in my head. Like it was
like watching a series of Huddle, but that's actually a great series.
Yeah.
So back to what Nick brought up. So then you found your way into LA Fitness. Did you go there like in June or July of that year then, or how long was it till you found that gym?
It was probably, I want to say September maybe.
Okay. So
Yeah. When it started stopped getting nice out, because I remember I was like, I'll just work out outside, even though you never really do.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, it's getting kind of crappy out. I should get a gym membership now. So it was like September, October.
Yeah, I think where I was going with that is it's kind of amazing how when you're out of it for so long and you go right back into it, it can be tough and everything, but you're so thankful that all of a sudden you see those little results and your confidence skyrockets, which all of a sudden snowballs into where you are now.
Yep.
So you started with a personal trainer, and that can be really intimidating a lot of times to, first of all, put down that much money on a check and be accountable for all those and not escape and run from them. Did you stick to all your sessions you signed up for?
Yeah, so I'm the type of person that when I say I'm going to do something or when I commit to something, I do it.
Let's go.
If I tell people if I'm like, I'm going to do this, I'm fucking doing it. I'm not going to beat around the bush. If I say it out loud to somebody, it's going to happen. So and similarly to how I spend my money, if I spend my money on it, I'm going to stick with it. So I never missed a session.
How long do you sign up for? Like 3 months, or what was it?
It's a year. They suck you into a year contract.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You were committed.
Right? It's kind of like,
crazy.
or you can like buy it out or whatever, which
Yeah.
is just a lot of money.
And from the opposite end, you were a personal trainer for a long time at a global gym. What was your experience like with people that would sign on when they'd leave a lot, or because you were so good at what you did, they stuck with you versus other personal trainers? How did that work for you?
I didn't have a ton of turnover as a personal trainer, and I also didn't push like those long-term agreements. Some people don't want to be committed or stuck into something that long because they don't always know. As somebody who's going to the gym, especially in your situation where you kind of been doing the cardio thing and they talked you into doing training, a year agreement, like what'd that feel like when they put that down on the table? You're like, a year, like it just takes your breath away. And it's kind of intimidating, even though, if you have a good connection with your trainer, a year goes by like that. But I didn't have too much of that experience. But I'm curious, so a lot of people get their start in like the YMCA's, the LA Fitness, the Lifetimes, it's like the pond for everybody. It seems like the bodybuilders and physique athletes kind of stay there, whereas the powerlifters, strongmen, weightlifters eventually move on to more of a hardcore gym or a gym that fits their style better. So what was the point that you transitioned from LA to, was your next move horsepower, or it was?
Yeah.
So what kind of sparked that for you?
So, oh man, we're really jumping ahead here.
Well, hold on. Let's go back real quick. Yeah, let's go back a little bit. Sorry, Nick. Let's go back. We'll get to that eventually. But so with what you were saying as being a personal trainer and not locking anybody down for that long on your side of the business, so for you, what was the consistency like with one personal trainer, or did you cycle through a couple of them? How did that work on your end compared to what they offered at the beginning?
So LA Fitness obviously cycles through trainers like that.
Yes.
It's where they get their first, it's like the new trainers.
Yes.
So I went through.
And you don't know any better, which is tough on you.
Right, I have no idea.
You're trusting everything you're telling you.
So I went through 2, and then I had 1 for a while, probably like 7, 8 months. And by the time my year was up, I could train her. You know what I mean? Like,
and there's a trust connection there too, where you put so much into somebody, like you did when you were training, Nick. You ended up with, I remember you were doing seminars with me, or little tests with me, and then eventually you had like 15 people under your belt that you took into a powerlifting meet because you just built that trust with people along with the knowledge you had. So then, do you remember when you signed up for that first year, what were your initial goals that first year when you signed up, and how did they transition after that first year where you felt confident enough to train other people?
Right. So I was just looking for, like, everyone's first fitness goal is to lose weight, right? I never wanted big muscles. I just wanted to tone, or I want a flatter stomach, or I want this, I want that.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you think you can spot treat an area, kill me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It takes time to learn that,
It
because
does.
that's how the magazines tell us.
Yeah, exactly. All you need to do is 6-minute abs a day, you know?
Yeah, then you can fit in the plane perfectly.
Exactly. A plane. So after that was my first goal, was to just get in shape.
Which are like a lot of people's, yes.
Yeah.
The right idea, the right mindset.
And then after I started seeing like actual muscles, I was like, cool. Oh my gosh, like, I'm seeing like some muscles when I'm
shoulder
working
pump,
out,
yeah.
and like this is sweet. And then I had multiple people at LA Fitness approach me and be like, do you do bodybuilding? Are you a bodybuilder? And I'm like, no, I don't even know what that is. Like, whatever. And so people just constantly kept asking me, and I was like, all right, let me look into this. Like,
Okay.
what is this?
Real quick. When they would ask you this, would they also ask for your number afterwards?
Yeah, a couple. A couple.
Okay. I just figured.
Yeah, maybe it was a segue. I don't know.
Yeah. But the intentions were right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yep.
so then you got all those questions, so where did you lead to from there?
So I started looking into it, and I was like, I could do this. I could totally do this. Totally blind. Like, had no fucking clue. Can I say the F-bomb? Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, have you heard Ryder on here before?
No.
Oh,
Okay, no fucking clue what I was getting myself into, but I was like, I'm gonna do this. Like, let's do it. So I had kind of looked for like coaches, and I knew Los Campeones was the gym for bodybuilding. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna email them. So I like emailed their website, and I was like, can you hook me up with a prep coach? So they were like, yep, we can, sure. So they did. And I was kind of the in-between, like the bikini and the figure.
so like physique almost, or is that?
No, that's
figure
one step
for women?
higher.
Okay.
So I was in between bikini and figure. Like,
Sure.
I would have to lose a little muscle to do bikini.
Okay.
Or I would have to gain a little muscle to do
So you
figure.
had to choose to do one of those two? or-
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think for me, the figure is more my style. So I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So I had no idea what I was doing, but I started bulking, apparently. Like, didn't know what bulking was.
Can't stop the gains.
So I was like stuffing my face
Yeah.
with food, and I was thinking I was like in prep,
Yeah.
and I was stuffing myself, and I was like, this is what bodybuilding is, okay.
Yeah. So with that, real quick, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Los Campeones set you up with a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Was the coach doing both training and nutrition, or just one or the other? Or you hire 15 coaches for, you got your posing coach, you have your eating coach, your nutrition coach, and your lifting coach. How do they, I guess, apply that for you?
She did do my training, but it was kind of like, here's a baseline of training, but kind of
Okay.
like do what you want if you want,
Sure.
you know? So throughout most of my bodybuilding career, I did my own training.
Okay.
And then I had one session with my coach a week.
Okay.
Typically it was legs because that was my weak point.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was mostly just nutrition and cardio.
And so you were saying you're making all these gains. You're on the gains train.
Yeah,
so where
I
do you
had
go
no
from there?
idea. I was like, I'm 26 weeks out. And I'm like, okay. And I had no clue I was doing it. Just so blind. And I think that's where people get, with bodybuilding, they get so like starstruck. Like, ooh, a sparkly bikini, ooh, a pretty tan, ooh, these girls are so beautiful. They want to be like that, and they don't know the process. They don't understand.
Yeah. So with that, it's a misconception, I think, that you can keep that look forever.
Yeah.
You're down to those certain weeks where you're the peak week, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. And then I'm guessing, there's stories about people who have put on so much weight right away unless they're so strict. But
Yep.
for you then, because you made those bulks you were talking about, did you compete in physique then, or did you have to pull back on the diet? What happened from there?
I did figure.
You did figure, okay.
Yep, so I bulked for a couple of weeks, and then I started my first cut in like February, and then my first show was in June. This was 2016, I believe. Yeah, 2016.
So you had about a 4-month prep?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yes. And then, so I competed in my first show in June. So I did 2 shows, 2 weeks in between.
And with that, real quick, sorry to cut you off again. What was your prep like? Was it more lightweight, high rep type things, or movements, or was it more modern, heavyweight, but we're going to just adjust your diet?
It was a lot of reps. and moderate weight usually. I just didn't have the energy. I was doing, towards the end, I was doing 2 hours of cardio. I was eating 1,000 calories. Like, it was miserable.
0 carbs, low carb days.
It was miserable. But like I said, I didn't know any better. I didn't know there was other ways. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I thought this was bodybuilding. This is what you have to do.
Okay. There's different approaches as what your point is.
And things work differently for different people too.
Exactly.
It depends on your body, your metabolism, whatever.
So for you, was that the only competition you did for figure?
Nope.
Oh, you jumped right back in.
So after my first 2 shows, you know how you try your reverse diet and blah 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 and all that.
Yeah.
Well, similar to a lot of people, what happens to a lot of people, I developed a binge eating disorder.
Okay.
So it was like me packing boxes of Oreos and tubs of Ben & Jerry's into my mouth constantly.
So like a regular Tuesday for Nick and I.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah. But it would be to the point of like pain.
Yeah.
I would stuff myself every single night and hide it from everybody.
Really?
It was like a shameful thing.
Yeah.
And then you'd wake up the next day and you'd be like, all right, I'm having egg whites for breakfast.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm going to do an hour of cardio tonight, and it's gonna you're trying to balance that, and it's such a mind thing, because in my mind I kept thinking it was a thing of like, someone's gonna, like, I will never be able to eat this again. Someone's gonna take it away from me. So I have to eat it all right now. I can't eat half the pint. I can't eat 2 Oreos. I have to eat 30.
You gotta get it while you can.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was like, I'm eventually gonna be dieting again, aren't I? You know?
Might as well get your, enjoy it now, because you're never gonna do it again.
And then you blow up like a fucking balloon, and you're 40 pounds heavier than you were, and you look like a balloon in your mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Well, no, this is awesome. You're honestly sharing this, because I have other people that tell me the same stories they've had, and they got through, whether it's bodybuilding or figure building and all this. Just the mental, I guess, struggle you go through, an emotional struggle too. How did you overcome this? Because I mean, there's even times where I go through that, where you eat so much at night, like the next morning, I'm going to do Stairmaster, I'm going to start eating my egg whites, and I'm going to give me 2 weeks, I'm look amazing, right? Well, it's a lifetime to get there. But for you, how did you overcome all that?
So it was really tough for me, because I didn't have a lot of friends in the fitness industry at this point. I didn't have a lot of people that understood what I was going through. My friends didn't necessarily support my lifestyle at that point. And I finally sat down with my mom, and I was like, Mom, like, this is happening. And she's like, oh my God. Poured my heart out, bawling my eyes out, and she's like, you need to get help. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna go see a therapist. So I finally, and at that point it was like, I admitted it to myself. I admitted it was a problem, and I went to 1 therapy session, and I was done. Wow. Like, it stopped, because I finally admitted that it was a problem and that I needed to do something about it.
You addressed it.
Yeah, I addressed it, and I started talking about it. I told my friends about it. Look, this is happening. And I became comfortable with saying it. I outed it instead of hiding it.
Sure. And then with that, I think you brought up a good point, is when, a good thing about when you get into, whether it's, I guess the workout athletic scene, or you're in a competition base, if you're training for powerlifting, strongman, strongwoman, or bodybuilding, you develop new relationships, new friends, and sometimes just because change of habits and mental, where you're at with your goals, you might push other friends away just naturally, or just, you just gain difference, distance between you.
It's a different lifestyle.
Yeah, and for you, I mean, when you try to go to friends, but they didn't understand, obviously, because your goals were different. They didn't have the same emotional, mental stress, and they didn't visualize yourself as you did, because you've been on one side or the other. Did you gain a bunch of new friends through this experience and lose some old ones, or did you kind of just stay in your own zone and maybe just have your, lucky enough to have your mom as like your trust support? Did you have a big group of friends you can reach out to?
Now I do. At that point in time, I don't think so. And I think a lot of my friends, like from college, for example, our college friendship was getting wasted every night and enjoying life and being young and whatever. And now, I mean, I still drink sometimes, but I'm not like, let's go out, let's do, I value feeling and performing good for my workouts, and alcohol necessarily doesn't always mix with that.
Well, if you do, I'm guessing it's going to be like after you've reach, like, it's almost like a reward to yourself.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I just kicked my ass today. It's Saturday night. Let's go enjoy with some friends.
Right. Like, I enjoy having a beer every now and then, but like, I don't get home from work and be like, man, I need a drink.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel that way anymore.
Okay. So then when you got, I guess, and you're probably always working through it as anybody is, as you kind of were able to address the binge eating and work through that, were you able to lose the extra few pounds you mentioned you gained, 40 pounds or whatever, or did you kind of transition into doing at that point another figure show, or did you start getting into more strength training at that point? Where'd you go from there?
So after
You got
that,
a deep journey, geez.
I did, I know. After that, what's your next move? You're like, well, I should diet again,
Yeah.
right? Like, I should lose this weight. Now that I overcame my binge eating, like, let's diet. Great idea. So I jumped into another bodybuilding prep. So my last one ended in June, and I started another one in January of the following year. So I gave myself a 6-month break and jumped right back into it. And that next prep, it was, my heart just wasn't in it. I knew it. I was like, I'm going to finish this, and I half-assed it. My first one, I was balls to the wall, man. I was up at 4 a.m. on that cardio machine, like busting my ass. And this time, I was up, but I was like, I'm just going to walk on the treadmill a little bit. Like, it was half-assed, and I could totally tell. And I was like, this isn't me. But I finished it. I don't think I looked very good on stage. I didn't really give a shit. I was like, whatever. I don't
It's
care.
over, yeah.
I was like, give me a fucking
Let's get this over
donut.
with.
You know? Like, I don't care anymore. So after that, I knew, I was like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
I'm done with this.
Okay. And then you did another one.
No. I did 2. I did
Yeah.
4 total. So I did 1 prep with 2, and then I did another prep with 2.
So with that, were you always with the same coaches, nutrition and training wise, or did you change from one to the next? And then with that as well, was your quote unquote diet for the training prep always the same, or did that change as well?
I stuck with the same coach, and everything was pretty similar the whole throughout. Now that I'm more knowledgeable too, I know that there's different ways to diet.
Sure.
As like counting macros versus a strict meal plan.
Yeah.
Now for me, if I were to ever do it again, I would count macros, because I think that's more flexible and that would work better for me.
Yeah, and everyone has a different, approach to it. Works for them too. Just like with training, that's okay.
Yeah.
So then, after you completed that half-assed prep that you just were so happy to get done.
Yep.
And were you training at Los this whole time? Or were you training at Horsepower or elsewhere, or still LA in it up? Or
When I was on my own, I was at LA Fitness, and then when I would be through Los Campeones with my coach. So that was just 1 day a week that I would train with him.
And let's talk about this journey too. So I think a lot of times I see and I feel like when you're competing for a show like that, you have to be very selfish. You have to be very individualistic. So did you have that type of mindset where you just didn't even, no one reached out to you, or you didn't reach out to anybody else? You always trained alone and it was you versus you in the world? Or did you have a support system where you were able to call in some friends and you worked out together and really encourage and support each other?
That's a great question, because I consider myself like a social butterfly, and throughout that whole journey, I lost that in myself, and I was like, "Who the fuck are you anymore?"
Yeah, I see that a lot.
You don't even have you would rather be alone than be with your friends, and I lost that part of myself, and I was, after all the bodybuilding was done, I was like, who are you? Who do you want to be? This is not you. You don't go out. You don't go to gatherings. You don't have the energy to do it. You're like, what are you even doing on the weekends? You're sitting at home by yourself because all you want to do is hit your meals, do your cardio, and do your workout. So I think I lost a part of myself during that. And I'm not hating on bodybuilding. This does not happen to everybody. This is just what happened to me. This is my story.
Everyone's spirit's different.
And I respect all those people that do that, and I think it's great, but it's not for me.
And I think, we had Sarah Raisin on too, and she kind of went through the same experience.
I listened to hers.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wanted to text, I was going to text her and be like, dude, same. F bodybuilding.
And I use everyone's experience different. So, where were we? So
after that is the shining star. This is when I found strength training.
Tell me more. We get a special effect come through on this, Anthony?
Right?
Shoot something on this right now. Boom.
So after I had gone through all that, I was in another low, and I was like, okay, what am I gonna do now? What's next? Like, I obviously am a very competitive person. I love competing. I love challenging myself. But I was like, what do I do now?
Yeah. You stare yourself in the mirror until you figured it out.
I was like, all right, you're kind of fat now because just obviously those post shows, like, what do you do?
Yeah.
So I talked to my bodybuilding coach. He was super supportive. I was like, what do I do now? And he's like, well, you could do like powerlifting, strongman. He's like, but powerlifting's kind of boring. Like, bench, squat, deadlift, okay. He's like, strongman, you'd be really good at that. He's like, you're really athletic. And I was like, okay. So
tell me more.
I was like,
It's
okay,
like the
cool.
story of every strongman that we've had on here is like, somebody told me I should do it. And I was like, okay.
I'm kind of athletic.
Yeah. So I had a girl that I met through LA Fitness. A girl that I met at LA Fitness. I had just like followed her on Instagram, and I saw that she was doing all this sweet shit. I was like, this is cool. Like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So I reached out to her, and I was like, shout out to Allie Palm. Gotta get that in there.
I think she was our one follower when we were going live.
Yeah, she was.
So shout out to her.
Thank you, Allie.
Love you, Allie. She's probably waiting for me to come on there. She was texting me like the whole time, like, what's happening? What's going on? So yeah, I reached out to her and I was like, what you do is fucking awesome. I want to do that. And she's like, well, come do it. Like, let's come on in. So my first session with Matt, I came in and I was like, this is awesome. I got a great feeling, but it was like the money aspect was in the back of your mind, And
What do you mean, money aspect?
just like getting a new
Dropping that much money.
Yeah, dropping that much money and committing to something.
Yeah.
And is this really it? Do I really want to do this? Should I commit? Commitment.
And it's a
People have hard time
huge
with
commitment. Like you're saying, it's time, it's money.
Time, money,
Yes,
yep,
okay.
all that. So I was like, ooh, I don't know.
Yeah.
And finally, Matt was like, you know what? I'm not letting you walk away. I see too much potential in you. You're already strong. Like, we're going to fucking do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, sure, sounds good. So
Man,
Talk me into it.
another direction. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's responsible.
So by the time I started, I had just like something just came over me. Like I felt so much empowerment and so much. There's such a different feeling with being strong than like looking good. Like. You just get this feeling. You get a new PR, or you set a goal and you achieve it within strength sports. It's literally like this feeling that comes upon you, and you're like, "Fuck yes!" Like I did it.
That should be the name of this podcast. Fuck yes. And that's what it is, because you're able to walk around with that confidence, I think, too, knowing that you not only did it, but you earned it, and you feel like it's something that lasts longer than that peak week, right?
Yep, exactly.
You've earned all that, where you can legitimize, how we say that word? That, like, you know what? If something happens, you can hopefully lift that vehicle off someone who's in need, or you can apply it to other things in your life, or it's continually building.
Yeah, and applying it to other things in your life too. Like it taught me, like, and Matt, my coach, is amazing. He's taught me like I can do anything. He gave me my confidence back.
And who's your coach, Matt?
Matt Miller.
Okay, Matt Miller. Is he on Instagram for people to follow or anything, or if they want to reach out to him?
Horsepower SC.
Horsepower SC.
Yeah.
And that's the gym in Fridley that you go to, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So he's great, and he gave me the confidence to believe in myself to that you can do this and you can overcome these things and get strong as shit in the meantime. Like not just physically but mentally too. And it's taught me a lot about what I want. It kind of like you take a step back and you're like, all right, like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I giving it my all? Not even just in the gym, like in life too,
And that's the best way to explain it too, I think, and thankfully, the best thing that probably happened to you was failing in other things, or not even failing, but just struggling through that last prep you did for the figure show, or maybe not, like you said, being in the right mental, emotional mind state through the binge eating, and to find something where you can apply, like, wait, I can eat this much and I can lift this much and I can still look this good. Like, those formulate all in one aspect where it just creates momentum for you too.
Yeah. So after I'd been so I was still like carrying around some extra weight from all that. And so my first Strongman, I did heavyweight class because I was up there. And then
How tall are you?
5'8".
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then it had been, my metabolism just started getting strong, better and better and better. And then I started being more confident in myself and finally got to like where I'm comfortable.
Yeah, and so during that time, what was your training cycle like? Were you working out 3 days a week with a lot of rest to get your metabolism and nervous system back together, or was it more constant? Like, I imagine every day training to 6 days a week was like your bodybuilding or figure. So how did it change and adapt when you started doing the strength training? Yeah.
Holy shit, my body has never been so sore.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, it's night and, like, it's completely different. It's completely different soreness.
It's a deep burn.
Yeah. So I went from the 6 days a week type thing to right now I currently only do 4 days a week.
Okay.
Yep. And I think that's a lot.
Yeah.
Even now.
Well, especially if the weight and the volume are applied, you're going to absolutely need a recovery time too.
Yeah, so 4 days a week now. I think when I started it was 3 maybe.
Okay.
I've upped it a day. So, yeah.
Okay, so then when you kind of back to what Nick asked originally, when you joined Horsepower Strength Conditioning, you started doing the strength training. So then how long were you doing the strength training until you then merged into doing some of the Strongwoman, Strongman competition stuff?
So I came in Horsepower saying I wanted to do Strongman right away.
Just running your mouth.
So, yeah. So I started like at maybe either the end of June, maybe I started at Horsepower, and I did my first Strongman at the end of July.
Oh, that quick.
Yeah,
Wow.
Matt was like, "You're strong enough. You can do it."
Yeah. Well, sometimes, like Tim was saying, he's got to jump on in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this competition is it was a good like starter competition. There's no weight classes. It was just like,
Okay.
So it was a good competition to start with.
Was it locally or did you travel somewhere?
It was at Scott County Fair.
Oh yeah, I've seen those recently on there. Okay.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah.
So that was my first one, and it went good. And then after that, I did another one in October.
Okay. Wow. So in the same, that's I guess
quick turnaround.
It is. Yeah, especially being a newbie at that. You must have obviously built kind of a desire for it, a passion for it.
Yeah. And then I didn't do another one until January.
Okay, so every 3 months or so, you kind of get the urge to.
January, and then October again.
Okay.
And then just February.
Okay. So.
Yeah, that's all of them. Yep.
So from what you've done, training-wise and competing-wise, like, what are some of the events that you feel are your best or that you enjoy most, and what ones do you find are kind of your struggles that you just get me out of this event type of thing?
Well, my bests are probably anything that involves speed. So yoke I'm really good at, I feel. Farmers I'm pretty good at. Anything that involves speed I think I'm pretty good at.
Okay.
What about weaknesses? What do you struggle with?
So my deadlift is shit right now. I hurt my back a little bit ago, and I PR'd, and then I went to Europe this summer.
Hold on. What was your PR?
380.
Was it conventional or sumo?
I don't sumo. Strongman does sumo.
Okay, just wanted to make sure
You don't sumo in
this is a real podcast.
Yeah, no, conventional all the way.
All right.
So I PR'd right before I left, and I was like, sweet. And then I came back from Europe. I hurt my back, and I haven't been able to pull like over 315.
How long ago was this, man?
This was in July.
Wow, and you still have to
Yeah,
recover
it's
from
mental.
Oh, okay.
It's mental.
Sure.
I'm screwing myself over.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, another mental block to get through.
Yeah, it's
And do you use straps when you pull and that or not?
usually no.
No, okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Just over under.
Interesting. Maybe we'll try some stuff before you leave here today. Not
Yeah,
heavy, but I
for
think
sure.
kind of
Yeah.
get a little some technique stuff that
Yeah,
might help flare those erectors and glutes. But so okay, so then your deadlift is one of your weaknesses. Anything else you kind
It
of
used to be one of my strengths.
Really?
Now it's a weakness.
So what happened in Europe?
I don't know. Eat too much bread.
That damn
Too much
plane?
is
Too much
fucking
wine.
bread.
I don't know.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's mental. I
Okay.
think. I don't know. It's fucking
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah, it no happens. I mean, me and you squat today. We're going over things and
So my squat is great. It's going
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah.
I can squat just as much as I can deadlift right now.
at least you have your positives.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
So then, going forward, I mean, what do you kind of feel like you're gonna, want to do when something else new comes along? But like right now, and then your future for yourself, kind of what are you looking forward to? I guess.
So I've been playing with the nationals idea for Strongman, but like I said earlier, I'm not like hardcore Strongman.
Sure.
I'm not like, yeah, I gotta do events every day, every week. I'm like, I wanna strength train, I wanna be strong. I like Strongman, I
Yeah.
like competing in something, but I'm not like balls to the wall Strongman chick.
You enjoy it.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. Do I wanna go to the next level? But I don't want to do something if I'm gonna be like, I kind of want to do it.
Yes. Yeah.
If I'm gonna go do nationals, I want to be like, let's do it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm undecided on that. Right now, I just want to get really strong. I want to get that deadlift back up there, man.
Yeah. Those great
Break that
goals
400
ahead.
I'm trying to get to the 400.
Yeah.
That's been a goal for like a year, and it's really pissing me off.
Well, let's walk through that finally.
Yeah, let's work on it.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then for like Kai kind of mentioned when you first kind of walked into the figure competition, worlds, competing, or you kind of felt alone. What was your circle like when you started competing in strength training and or a strongman? Was it kind of singular as well? Do you feel more support group through a circle of people?
So even competing in strongman, it's so different from bodybuilding. Like I feel the support in the other competitors like way more.
Yeah.
It's never like I think because bodybuilding is a subjective sport. I think you look better. I think you look better. It's who thinks somebody
Yeah.
looks better.
Yes.
As to where like if you move that weight, if I get more reps than you, I'm fucking won. I beat you.
Simple game.
It's exactly. It's not. It's you either won or you didn't win.
And that's why I think it'd be such a mental fuck too, because
Yeah.
you may have done your best prep, everyone's telling you look amazing, but that one judge doesn't see it in you, and and then you have all these people supporting you into the show, and the next day you finish and whatever, not first, and then all those support systems, you never hear from them again for 3 months later.
Yeah, it's a tough
gotta
sport.
be tough, yeah.
It's a tough sport. But yeah, so my circle for strength training wise has gotten much better.
Yeah.
Support system.
Okay.
My horsepower fam, love them.
Yeah.
They're very supportive. It's been great.
Okay, and do you guys train, like with the 4 days you train? I know some people and guests we've had on, they kind of do a, they train throughout the week together and whatnot, but like Saturday is like a strongman Saturday. Do you guys have a day where you all get together and you all train the events one day a week, or how does that work?
No.
Okay.
No, we don't. If it's my pressing day, I might do a log, I might not.
Yeah.
If it's my deadlift day, I might do yoke, I might not. I might do
What kind
farmers.
of program is this?
Whatever Matt tells me to do, I do it. And I'm like, hey, I want to do farmers today. He's like, okay, cool.
So with that, let me ask you that too. I got a really quick.
Unless I actually do have a competition coming up,
Yes.
then we'll do, but we won't do like an event day. We'll do it throughout the week.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, what was your mental, maybe excitement? I was gonna say mental struggle, or like maybe kind of apprehensiveness to all of a sudden, like, here's a log pressed over your head. Like, did that take some adjustment from going, into that sport to you're starting with the log itself and adding weight? Like, was it a struggle in any one of those particular events that you kind of had to get through a mental apprehensiveness to get some confidence in it, or did it just come naturally for you?
Log was easy for me. I know a lot of people struggle with log because it's awkward.
The hand
weird.
position's different than a regular barbell. And
I did fine with it.
Maybe because you have good feet, like your lay drive's a part of that naturally for you too.
Yeah. I'd probably say it was a tough one for me. I want to say kegs were hard to start with too.
Okay.
I think I kind of got stones were hard too.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, but I think I'm a little better now. Do I think I'm great at it? Not really, but I don't know.
What is different when you're not standing over the keg, and this time you have to hold it over your head.
Yeah.
But so going forward, you said you kind of just see yourself continue to find what I guess comes next.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I do a little bit of Olympic lifting now, so I might.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we do clean and jerks and snatches and stuff
Okay.
like that.
So when you're training, do you typically do like any sort of bench press or squat or deadlift still then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll do squats. It'll be like in my rotations. Sometimes I'll always have front squats, back squats, box squats.
Okay.
So that'll be, and those are all heavy, never more than 5 reps.
All in the same week, or does that get rotated through?
Rotated through, like I'll do a 4-week block of one and a 4-week block of another or something like that. So.
Well, it's too bad there's not good, any sort of super total meet coming around this summer that you can join. 'Cause that'd be awesome to have you in that. Yeah, I wonder if that'll be coming sometime.
Totally, maybe.
Yeah, I could see.
Who knows?
If you're training in all those, that'd be awesome to have you. That'd be really cool to see.
Yeah, totally. I don't think I'm an expert at any of them. I think, my form could use some work, but I think it's a work in progress because those are very difficult.
Absolutely.
Super
Technique in
technical.
Olympic.
So technical.
It's crazy.
Well, that's why they call it poetry in motion.
It is.
They are beautiful when somebody's great.
So beautiful. I watch those videos online of like
hook grip and stuff.
Yeah, I'll be at like the Olympic people. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then they do like the slow motion and the bar path is like so beautiful.
Right.
And you're like, damn. I look at I'm like trying to look at my bar path. I'm like, that's shit.
It's insane how we talk about this a lot, but the approach to Olympic lifting where they walk up like they're just going to pick a flower in a garden, and they
so
snatch 300 pounds over their head.
Yeah.
Oh
and then you see a powerlifter going, and they're just raging, headbutting each other, and it's just
Big dumb animals.
It's funny how and maybe that's we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but the meditation aspect, where how much that actually applies, whether you visualization or how Josh Bryant and those guys talk about, I allow myself to bench press so much weight, or all that type of stuff, or what's his name? Kazmaier's conceive, believe, achieve type thing. Mm-hmm. Like if that really is a huge power aspect.
Oh, mine is huge, Mine is so big.
Like, because you have your mind-muscle connection, but maybe there's also that mind-accomplished connection or something like that.
Yeah. Well, Tyler and I were just talking about this a little bit ago. If you put somebody under anesthetic, you can move their body wherever. You can do whatever you want with them. But when they're awake, they maybe don't have those ranges of motion. Mm-hmm. And your mind is going to limit, your central nervous system is going to limit what you are able to do to keep you from getting hurt. But if you, likewise, if you don't believe you can do something, it's just not going to happen,
And that goes back to almost having you have the power of a really good support group around you, or a great coach that allows you to find beliefs in yourself that you may not have had before.
Absolutely. All that stuff is huge.
And so with you then, Melissa, like where you're at now and how you came into it kind of unknowingly, just, and you have these people coming up and telling you how great you are, and you're the next best thing in the world.
Autographs.
Autographs.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves
So
here,
signing
guys.
babies.
When you were there, like now you look at you've been around for a while and you've kind of earned your stripes and you're continuing to grow still, but have you taken anyone under your wing now and create a circle around you, or anybody that's kind of you're able to give advice to at all right now, or are you still kind of growing in that aspect?
So I see a lot of girls that people ask me about bodybuilding all the time, and I'm saying, I always say, that's great, but do your research. Make sure this is something you want to do, and you're not doing it because someone told you should do it. I'm really cautious, and I support anybody's goals if they want to do it, but you need to do your research, and you need to make sure you know what you're going to put your body through, because you only get one.
Sure.
And you need to know that what you're going to put yourself through mentally as well. Because I didn't know that stuff, and I wish someone would have told me.
Then, yeah, that was my point right away.
Yeah.
Is the misconception that people have. They
Yeah.
see the beautiful pictures, but you don't see the struggle behind
It is
that.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's great, but it's, I think, glamorized.
Yeah.
People aren't honest.
And the one thing that you've said too throughout this is the way you felt after gaining your strength now. Like you walked in here with your shoulders. We had like you spanned the door for you. We had to have you come through the garage door. Like walking through with wide shoulders and stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah, totally.
It totally just blows up everything. So
Yeah.
I think if there's one thing, people that follow you, if they get the transition, and maybe it's just I guess impression you give from someone is that, well, they look great. They must be a figure competitor, bodybuilder. But realistically, if your nutrition is down and even if you like to enjoy yourself a little bit, but you lift heavy weights, it doesn't mean you're going to bulk up right away and look horrible.
Exactly.
You can build a great physique through strength, right?
Yep. Strength. I will say this all the time. Strength training literally saved me. Like, saved my confidence level, my mentality, my drive. It just brought me so much more joy than I could have ever asked for.
That's probably the best we've heard on this podcast.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Strength training saved you. That's awesome.
Yep.
So let's transition a little bit outside of strength training. What else balances you in life? I know you recently you were traveling to Iceland and tried to book you a little while ago. So what was that like? Is that one of your outside adventures that kind of balances you in life, or?
Yeah, I love traveling. I love new experiences. I think people get stuck a lot, and they don't realize that there's these other places in the world. And I took my first international trip last year to Europe, and after that, I made it a goal to myself to take one international trip a year. So this year was Iceland, and it was amazing.
Okay.
It was like nothing you'll ever see before. Like, it was insane.
Did you lift with Thor?
I did not. I didn't go find him. I mean,
All right, let's talk about something else. No, I'm just kidding. Keep going. What was one of your favorite, one of your favorite experiences you found there? Did you go jump in the ocean like they did, or kind of cool off, or take any cool hikes?
We did a lot of hiking, a lot of natural hot springs, because Iceland's a volcano, basically.
Okay, yeah.
So they have natural hot springs, which are super cool, but I hiked a glacier.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was pretty badass. It was just crazy. Like, we're hiking on ice, and the glacier changes so much within like weeks that no one will ever see it the way I saw it.
Sure.
So it's kind of cool,
that's cool.
to say that.
Yeah.
And then there's like this big lagoon that has these giant icebergs in it, and then there's this other beach, and the sand is black because of all the volcanic ash.
Oh, wow.
So it's black, and so it makes the ice look super cool.
Yeah.
It was a crazy experience, and a lot of people from different countries, which was cool. So it was fun.
Now, looking at some of the pictures like Ryder had when you went to Iceland, did it feel like you were almost in Duluth still? Like all the ice and everything kind of looked the same with those foggy, cloudy days.
It was so windy there.
Was it?
Oh my God.
Was it the cold wind too, like we get here?
Yeah, so it was like 40s, which I was like, oh, 40s.
Yeah.
This is gonna feel like nothing. Because we left here when it was like the polar vortex.
Okay.
But the wind is so powerful. You see like these little Chinese people getting blown over. It was great. I mean, it was not great. I feel bad.
God bless them.
Like I had trouble walking in it.
Really?
Yeah, you have to like put your body into the wind to not tip over.
Oh my goodness.
Is that like that every single day?
It was like, it depends on where we were. Like if we were close to the beach,
Okay.
or if we were inland more, it wasn't so bad. But
No wonder Thor's calves are so big.
Yeah.
Probably always like stopping his walk.
exactly,
So did you go find the Lucifer stone, or they call it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I didn't do any like meathead shit while I was there.
All right.
Sorry.
So what was the food like there? I'm sure you went out and enjoyed yourself. It was the vodka, pristine, straight from. What did you indulge in?
The vodka was good. Beer was good. Honestly, the food was pretty similar to what we have here. It was just a lot of fish.
Okay.
But they do have this thing that we tried. It's called hexala, and it's like dried fish. So it's like beef jerky but fish. And
So the opposite of lutefisk.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we ate that, and it was awful.
Yeah.
It was like really chewy and smelled terrible. Yeah.
Do you know what kind of fish it was?
It was haddock.
Yeah. Okay.
Haddock? head off.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
It was disgusting. Don't try it. But they also have this other thing that's like they bury a shark and then they let like the ammonia come out of it and then like they eat the shark. Yeah. I don't know what it's called.
Was there anyone else there besides you doing this? Or
No,
is
they
this a
sell
real
it in
thing?
the grocery stores. They sell it in the grocery stores. And what's that big foodie guy that tries all the weird shit?
Oh,
With the crazy hair.
No, are you talking about Guy Ferrer?
Well,
No.
Anthony Bourdain.
Anthony
Yeah,
Bourdain?
him, yes. If you like Google or YouTube him trying it, he says it's like the worst thing he's ever put in his mouth in his entire
Likes
life.
everything.
Yeah, it's fucking
Okay,
funny.
interesting.
I didn't try that though.
So I know you kind of explained what the ocean was like and the brown sand, but like were
Black sand, not brown.
way off. Sorry. Were the ocean views spectacular? I can't imagine. What was the sunlight there too? Was it like all day like Alaska or?
It was got light out at 9 a.m. and sunset about like 6.
Okay.
So
Like Minnesota, basically.
Pretty
Yeah.
similar.
You're in Duluth still.
okay, no, yeah, it was
Okay.
It was fine.
Okay, so let's kind of like I guess a little back in the transition here with some strength training stuff. So if you could name, like you have the Yates rows or the Z press, if you could give yourself a Schmit lift, what would yours be?
What would I call it?
Yes. What kind of
What
lift would
is
it be?
the Schmit lift?
What's the Schmit
I don't
lift?
even know what you're asking me right now.
Well, like, do you have like is your favorite thing the Schmit curl? Like yesterday,
I don't curl.
I'm putting you in the spot. You gotta tell us
I
what
don't do
your.
shoulder,
Okay.
lat raises, nothing. No.
Okay.
Damn. I don't know.
We get the
What,
Jeopardy
really,
music playing right now.
like,
The
what is
Schmit
my
walk?
favorite thing?
Yeah, what's your favorite thing to do? If you could teach, some new beginner or even someone that's, been around forever, something that you're really good at that you could help someone with, what would you help them with?
Like if you could go back in time and show the world an exercise and then name it after
Yes.
yourself, what would it be?
Oh my god.
Take over the world here. What's your thing? Like yesterday we had Ray Ragnall on. He works for CrossFit
CrossFit HQ.
HQ and he does a lot of USAW weightlifting coaching. And we asked him the same thing. And he came up with, he's really good at teaching a warm up. And he calls it after yesterday, the Ragnall or the Ragnall complex. And it's just taking the PVC pipe through a complex of warm ups. And
Yeah.
we had a video of that. So back to you, Melissa. If you had to come up with the Schmit,
The Schmit lift.
what would it be?
I mean, it's got to be something with glutes, probably.
There we go.
Butt stuff.
Butt stuff.
So activation of them, like RDLs or some sort of like bent, what kind
No, probably something single-legged.
of really
Yeah, I think that really gets the glutes.
single?
You know, when people
like
ask
lunges
me-
or what?
No,
Step
like
ups?
isolate one leg and then one leg stays, probably with dumbbells, maybe.
Really? Like bent overs?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
So we call them the Schmitty glutes?
Sure.
That's what it is, the Schmitty glutes. We can do a example after the podcast.
Okay, that sounds great.
So then what are you into right now? What beside, what's your thing right now? You got a big TV show you're into or something that takes,
Like
when you're
not fitness
not fitness
related?
related, like when you're out of the gym, kind of what is your thing this week? Or right now, this time of period?
I hang out with my dog.
Okay, what kind of dogs do you have?
I have a golden retriever mix. His name's Mac. I love him
Mac?
so much. I love you, Mac. You think you'll hear this?
Perhaps if you play
Maybe.
a lot.
I'll play it for him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He was really sad when I left.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should have brought him with. We're dog friendly here.
I know, I didn't know. He would have loved
We
it.
should have mentioned it. I didn't know you had a dog.
It's
Sorry.
your fucking fault.
There we go. That's awesome. I'm really
So I
glad.
hang out with him a lot.
Yeah.
And I watch a lot. I have a million little things that I watch. Some of those tearjerker ones, like I cry every episode.
Yeah.
But
You need that though, because otherwise you can't be happy all the time. You need to break
Right.
yourself down and build yourself up.
yeah.
Yeah, it helps.
So other than that, I work.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what do you do for it?
I work for Allianz. It's a life insurance company.
Okay. Very cool.
So I'm sitting at a desk, punching numbers. So I went to school for math.
Okay.
Yeah, real exciting.
Gotcha. So that's probably. Do you have a benefit of having a stand-up desk now, so you're not sitting all day long, or is that?
I do have a stand-up desk,
Okay.
and we actually have treadmill desks in our gym at work.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, you have a gym at work too?
We do.
Wow, that's impressive.
They only have a Smith machine though, which I'm not about that life.
Yeah.
So I
Friends
will
don't
never
let friends
jump.
use the Smith
Yeah,
machine.
you can't get Schmitty glutes like that.
No,
Oh.
you cannot. I'm like, I can't work out there.
That's awesome. Okay, so we've
Plus, I'll
got.
scare all my coworkers. They'll be like, "Oh my god, this
Yeah.
girl's insane." They already
How
think
about
that.
how about that? Do they know your coworkers or friends? I guess do they know you outside of your life, and how do they take that you're a strong woman?
They're supportive and they're like, "Oh, how's your competition?" But they're kind of like, "You're fucking crazy," you know? Like you get like the "you are crazy."
Yeah.
And I mean, my mom says the same stuff too. She every time I tell her like something happened or like, "Oh, my arm hurts," so you really got to stop that strengthening stuff. It's really gonna take a toll
be
on your
lifting so
body. Blah
heavy.
blah blah. I'm like, "Mom, just," I was like, "I'm never gonna stop, so shut up." And then she's like, "Okay."
Your mom sounds supportive at least.
Yeah, she's supportive, but as long as I just shut it down right away, she drops it, and then she's like, "Okay."
Did you come from a big family? Are you only child or?
So I have 2 older brothers, and then I have some step siblings and
Okay.
whatnot. My parents are divorced.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so we've kind of gone through your beginning and everything you've gone through to come to where you are today, and kind of where you got to go in the future. How can people find you, reach out to you, and follow your training? Are you on Instagram or anything? Or
You can follow me on Instagram at melissa.schmit, SCHMIT.
can we repeat that one more time for all the
Yeah.
listeners?
At melissa.schmit.minnesota, and Schmidt is SCHMIT.
Okay, awesome.
I know how to spell my name, I swear.
We get a lot of nervous guests when you're in our
Yeah,
this
totally.
thing's blowing up.
Really nervous.
You got any other questions at all, Nick? Or
I don't think so.
okay, anything for us?
What's your guys' favorite lift? Favorite lift?
Mine's actually become the deadlift, because I used to really not approach it or want to try it because it was just something so different. I squatted all through college and benched all through college and more power clean stuff, but never really had an emphasis on the deadlift whatsoever until I started training with other friends, and that was one of the big 3 for powerlifting meets. And I really enjoy going after that now because it's something I never really even had a mindset on or of, and just seeing sometimes for me a lot it's a mental block, like you're saying with yours. So for me it's really just, and so many variations, whether you're doing block pulls or when you're pulling from above a higher level, deficit deadlifts.
Yeah.
So deficits, I feel like I've gotten stronger on a lot too, but there's so many different ways, like every other lift, but I feel like that's something, and you can adjust if you want to do like at your later into your training or off weeks, you can do some sumos versus I pull conventional as well. And then you take pride in being able to pull without straps, right?
Yeah.
You take pride in making those, whether it's 5 pounds PR or it's maybe a few more reps than you're used to. So for me, there's so much you can build with that, whether it is your glutes and your hammies or all of your back, and there's so many ways you can grow within that I'm trying to. And then finding, not every day do you have the luxury to pull from the perfect Texas powerlifting deadlift bar. Yep. So you use different ones where you're kind of just finding out what works for you and pull the slack out of the bar. And everyone has their own personal technique. So part of that for me has been finding what works for me. That was a long-winded answer. Sorry for everyone. But Nick, go ahead, sir.
I was gonna say deadlift. That's probably my best lift. But
Yeah, you're a boss at that, man. You grew a lot.
Hey, but your favorite? Well,
that-
usually you like things are good at, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I was gonna say that, but I'm getting back into Olympic weightlifting, and my favorite lift.
You are?
I am. Yeah.
Man, if there's only a super total meet this summer, you can compete at it.
Weird.
Oh my god.
With that being said, I think clean is probably my. We'll go with clean for
Not
today.
the jerk, just the clean.
Fuck yeah. I suck
Way to
ass at
break
the
it
jerk.
down. Call 'em out, yeah.
I suck at the jerk, but I do love a good clean. It is nice to get that weight overhead and then just drop it. It feels.
No, wait a
feels
minute. Are
fucking
you?
awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Are you a high catcher or are you a low catcher?
You
When
mean
you catch the clean.
Do you drop
okay,
it
so
low?
it's
Yeah, are you dropping
Yeah.
your booty or are you catching it high?
So if it's clean, yeah, I'll drop it low, girl. And if I'm feeling strong, I might do a power. But
Okay.
yep.
You gotta go in with the mentality like, I'm gonna power clean this shit, or you're not
And
just
then-
gonna like casually power clean it, right?
Right. I just want to pull the bar as high as possible, let it crash on my shoulders so that bruises my collarbone, and then dump
I feel
it.
that. I feel that.
That's progression.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you're not cracking, you're not working.
Right?
Okay, I have another question though.
Oh gosh, here we go.
Okay, what is your favorite part about strength training?
You answer this first, Nick.
I think my favorite part of strength training is overcoming obstacles, and especially when I'm programming for myself. I'll program something really hard, and it's easy to put that down on paper, but the day that it actually comes and being a little bit scared of it, and then actually doing
Why
it.
did I do this to myself?
Yeah, but the feeling afterwards is amazing, and I love that. I also love making progress and hitting PRs.
For me, really, it used to be that. It used to be making those 5-pound, 10-pound jumps, getting those gains, and just feeling like a man walking out the building. But now, to be honest, it's coming together with a group of people, and you're so excited to drive to the gym. That 53-year-old Ben's going to squat with my ass. He's probably going to outlift me, but I'm going to push him. And the fact that and Nick's going over technique of my feet today on squats, and Tyler's struggling on the bench, but you go over and do a set and help him out. To me, it's really about growing with others. And
Always learning.
And learning, honestly, yeah. And you just realize, like, at some point, it's not really all about you, but if you can help include yourself into something small, which everyone else, knowingly or unknowingly, is at the same time, that excitement to come to the gym every day and get something from everyone, whether you're trying to apply it or not, is huge for me right now. Just because after doing this for so long, at some point, you're going to break down. You're never going to be as strong as you used to be in this and that, but to just find some strength in other people that build you up, or vice versa to them, it's huge in my mind. I don't know. How about you? That's a good question.
What do I like most about strength training?
Yeah.
Probably just the way it makes me feel, how empowered it makes me feel. When I set those goals and you break through them, and then you get there, but it's always like, there's always a what's next. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's always something more, or there's always something different. There's so many, like you said, there's so many different complexes of lifts. It's like, there's always something next.
Yeah.
So I think that's my favorite part, continually challenging myself.
Okay. Another question before we get you out here. What is your favorite cheat meal? Like either after a great workout or going into one, like what are you gonna go smash?
Probably burgers.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm a real big fan of burgers with peanut butter and egg on them.
Okay.
Oh,
Kind of like the
yeah.
breakfast burger
Yeah.
type thing.
A good breakfast burger.
Where's the best place to get burgers around here?
Red Cow is bomb.
Red Cow?
And Blue Door Pub, also bomb.
Oh yeah.
Tots at Blue Door Pub, sweet potato fries at Red Cow.
Okay.
Oh wow, so you make a drive to these places.
Oh
That's
man,
good.
I'm all about it.
And they're both
Yes.
local. It's like you're supporting local businesses as
Always.
well.
Yeah.
There we go.
For
Okay.
sure.
Nick, what's yours?
My favorite cheat meal?
You're a big pizza guy, right?
Yeah, I like Sarpino's pizza.
That's solid.
That's my
Okay.
my za.
Well, does pineapple belong on pizza?
Fuck it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did I just make some enemies?
Yes. All right.
Are you-
No,
were you in there?
I'm
Were you
with
in
you
there?
guys.
There we go,
Right
there we
on. Yeah, I'm in it.
I just saw that on something too. Where
I love pineapple.
It was a big, yeah, it has to be on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta get a little sweetness in there, you know?
Oh, yeah.
good.
Especially with the place that makes an amazing Canadian bacon with, oh my God, get over here. Yeah, there's a pineapple on there, for sure. And also the steak bites and ribs at,
Oh, yeah.
if you cross the river real quick at Smile and Moose, or even down at our favorite little, I'm not going to say because I want people to go there, but we have some amazing.
You have a secret spot?
Yeah, we can
Can you
talk.
tell me after this?
We can talk later.
Okay.
But the steak bites and ribs, it's on the appetizer list. You don't even need to pay for a full
You're a
meal.
meat guy, huh?
And they're amazing all the way. It's great. All right. Well, thank you for listening to this podcast. We're lucky to have Schmit Glutes and Nick Tadlock here. Tyler's being too cool trying to get his workout in, but you can hear that luscious voice next time. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.
Peace.
Thanks, bye.